Rise Hospital, Charing Cross Hospital, Hammersmith Hospital, Chelsea and Westminster, and I've had experience in the Western Eye as well as an outpatient. So I know all the hospitals, and the only one that I would ever go back to would be Charing Cross, where the patients are treated so well and not cast aside as if you're a nuisance and just wanting to get you out of the hospital as quickly as possible, with very little real care. The questions I wanted to ask, having made those comments, are what if the local authority is at odds with the citizens in their bailiwick? We have a Conservative Council in Hammersmith and Fulham, as you're perfectly aware, who are very keen on all this development and change. Many of the citizens living there, some 178,000, I think, is about the population at the moment, are totally against the changes. So we've got a complete fight going on between the people who want, the people who want a better performance and to keep Charing Cross Hospital, and people who are looking at the money side, because there's no doubt about it that Hammersmith and Fulham are turning every available building into accommodation. And whether they've got 179,000 population now just in Hammersmith and Fulham, it's going to be well over 200,000. And have you taken into account the enormous increase in people? We've got several stories, I can't remember how many, student accommodation being built up. We've got a new development in Earl's Court where they're planning a private hospital. They
there are a number of...
Oh, well, it is huge.
Okay, can we ask Bill let's ask Bill to address those?
Yes, there was just one other. Well, yes, all right.
Let's deal with those first.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I answered the question about local authority representation. We will look at that. I'm going to come back to it, but we'll look at that again. In terms of the political complexion of the local authorities and whether that's absolutely reflected, we need to ask local authorities to nominate members to be represented on the governing body. We need to do that. And it will be for them to determine that. And I don't think there's much that I can do, or we can do as an organisation, in terms of determining what the political complexion of those representatives will be. We committed to looking again at the number of representatives that we've got. We're committed to looking again at whether the Greater London constituency is the right thing and whether that would preclude individuals who've got legitimate concern and want to be represented. And I think within the legislative framework that we are required to put this forward, that's about as much as we can do. So, we're trying to get something that's representative, but if you've got a council, and I've been at the Hammersmith and Fulham Oversight and Scrutiny Committee, so I have seen the differences of opinion played out in that Oversight and Scrutiny Committee, so I'm very well aware that there is not one unanimous view. But in something like this, the Council will put forward a representative and we will need to respond to that. As I say, we'll look again at the number of representatives that we've got, and we'll look again at the public constituency, and if we haven't got that right, then we'll have another look at that. In terms of have we taken into account population growth, all of the things that we do are based on the best information we've got in terms of demography, and the information that we've got, the statistics that we've seen, would suggest that the services that we're providing would be adequate, and that's what we're trying to do.
Where did you get your statistics?
Where did you get that
The statistic that we use, we would use the statistics on population growth are the Office of National Statistics statistics.
That's very behind.
Well, but it's based, so we base that on the latest census data that we've got. We look at the population projections between the census dates, and that determines the income that we receive, because the commissioners are funded on the basis of what happens with population, and they pay us based on those assumptions. So we can only go on the latest data that exists, and that's what we tend to utilise.
The
That's
last
what we have to
census
do.
was 2011.
We're not getting another
Yes,
one
but
either.
I mean, there's one other thing that I could just add very quickly, and that is that the